What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning. Oh, yeah. No Drew this morning. I regret to inform you. That means many of you are probably going to tap out. We went to a wedding last night. Cousin got married. So Drew spent the night at Mimi and Papa's house. So no Drew this morning. So if you elect to tap out, I do understand. Let's see. What y'all want to talk about? Y'all hit the share button, please, 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 please. The share, big help, big help. I gotta drink some coffee, y'all. What a day. Y'all don't even know how busy yesterday was. I mean. Okay. I was just sharing it. Here we go. Todd Dupuis, Aunt Linda, Terry Richard, Chuck Bazette, Trivia Carter. Good morning, everybody. Ben Giat, Lauren Anderson, Jamie Fitch, Blaine Allen, Eric Saunier. What's up? Cassidy Russo, Colby Rosenthal, Cindy Slay, James Roy. Good crowd this morning, everybody. What's up? Kevin Graham. Trivia Carter right out the chute. 10s last night for gymnastics. I'm sure that's what everybody wants to talk about. What's up, Nick Torina? John Michael Saunier. Dick Vitale is ridiculous. Gottfried reports come out, and he hasn't said a thing about it. Only LSU BS. Very true, man. He, it's disappointing. You've seen a lot of national media protect their guys. Y'all like my shirt? Erica got me this for Valentine's Day. My significant otter. Like other, but otter. It's a pun. You know, the otter. She didn't intend to get that. She was trying to get, I think, a shirt for Drew. Like a heart, like Heart Warrior shirt. And they sent her this instead. What a mix-up. Anyway, so Will Wade suspended. I said a lot on the subject yesterday on AFR and a lot of different radio shows. I probably did, 8 to 10 interviews on it yesterday. Hosted the Chuck Oliver show yesterday as well, which made it an even busier day. It's a 2-hour college football show based out of Atlanta. And then, of course, as soon as I got off air with the Chuck Oliver show at 1:08, the Will Wade news broke. So then, and then the baseball Tigers went into walk-off last night because of Josh Smith. Calica! I do want to talk about that, though. So we'll get to all that. But you're right about Dick Vitale, and it's very disappointing that, but you're seeing that side of it, how there are people with a platform that play favorites. And something we talked about a lot yesterday was, and it's one of the things, man, man, all those comments coming fast. One of the things we talked about yesterday on AFR, man, it's like, you can't hide from the internet, man. There's a record of everything you say and tweet. Because someone, even if you delete it, someone's going to screen grab it and it'll live forever. And Dick Vitale, the hypocrisy of Dick Vitale tweeting in October of 2017, that Louisville should have waited for the FBI investigation to make a decision on Rick Pitino. Yet in this situation, it's embarrassing that Will Wade isn't fired. Get out of here, Dick Vitale. Jeremy Aldridge, Kyle Gallo, good morning. Matthew Rogelio, good morning. Jennifer Bunnell, good morning. For those asking, no Drew this morning. He's who's just jumped aboard, slept at the Mimi and Papa's. So we were at a wedding last night. So that's also why I'm a little bit later here this morning. That's my Aunt Linda. If Drew's not here, I'm gone. I don't a lot of you probably feel the same way. Kevin Graham, Derek Russo. So what y'all think, man? Buddy Cagle, great show yesterday. Thank you, buddy. If y'all missed my open, we ripped the video of of the show open, and I did post it on my Facebook page. So after this, if you want to go watch it, you can see my full 9-minute monologue to open the show. And my feeling hasn't changed at all about that. And more perplexing is that Jacques Doucet tweeted last night that he spoke to an LSU official, and he did not name the official, but said that the statement Will Wade released was very nice, and that anyone saying that Will Wade is coach's final game at LSU, talks of Will Wade having coached his final game are very premature. Then why suspend him? If you approve of the statement he made, and it's premature to talk about him coaching his final game, why suspend him? You're one game away from winning the SEC. You've been through this since October, and nothing's changed. Justin Robinson, Will Cotchery, what's up? Megan Hurst, on a happy note, you're almost at 365 for Morning Scone. True, we're coming up on a year. Less than 19 days away from 1 year. Darren Bourgeois, good morning. Kyle Gallo. Man, did Hal Hughes look like Wesley Snipes on Major League on the oops swing in the ninth. PMAC's going to be a hornet's nest. I can't wait. I think you're right, man. That's going to be a very, very... I'm curious at that atmosphere because the team has so much to play for, and collectively, I was really taken aback yesterday. What's up, everybody? Comments are going fast. I'm going to try to get to them as best as I can, y'all. So if y'all just patient with me, a lot of them are scrolling past, but man, I was a little taken aback by how overwhelming the reaction was yesterday. It wasn't screw Will Wade for cheating. It was screw LSU's weak administration. I mean, that was the overwhelming feeling that I got yesterday. And I feel like LSU fans collectively dug their heels in. And it's so funny because now, like, whenever I bring up the Cam Newton thing, Auburn fans are out the woodworks with, well, there's never any documented proof of, or hey, the offer was from Mississippi State. It's like they all have their go-to because it's justifiable to play the there's no proof defense when the shoe's on the other foot. The hypocrisy of people is hilarious. The reality is, and I've said this before, and you should know it, everybody cheats at some point. Everybody. Not my school, yes, your school. Now, I don't know what happened with the Will Wade thing, and I don't know what they can prove. I know it looks terrible. But anybody sitting in their ivory tower casting judgment, your day's coming, bro. Let's see. Shelby, thanks for not being a sunshine pumper and holding everyone accountable. Man, I say this all the time, man. Shelby, I say it all the time. Like, the only way to be good at this job, well, not this job, but the only way to be good is just gotta be honest. Like, people are too smart. They will see through your BS. I mean, there have been people on the air on our radio station in the past who gave you one side of everything. And everybody knew it. Let's see. Courtney Store saw AFR and shared it on Target. Thank you. ESPN clowns were saying last year Sean Miller would never coach again. He'll leave it doing permanent damage. Arthur Coco, how do you think Hess pitched last night? Good question, Arthur. So I was at the wedding, so I was following along with the game, so I didn't get to see every pitch of it. But I like that he extended deep into the game, deeper. He gave up the solo homer to the first hitter. It was kind of an Alex Lang special. Lang used to do that all the time. But if you're coming out there just pumping fastballs and saying, hit it at my defense, as a counter to what you did last week, I mean, but he went homer walk and then got out of it. But in fairness, the walk was to Andrew Vaughn. It was on 4 pitches, and they just pitched around him, which I don't blame him. But then again, with nobody out in the first inning. Yeah. But I was glad to see Hess pitch well. And I am thrilled to see what Cole Henry does today, because I would feel much better about starting SEC play next week if Cole Henry gives you 5 solid innings today. And going into Kentucky next week, even though it's at the box, that you're going Hess, Henry, Walker. Let's see. Todd Dupuis has to look pretty good, still wasting a lot of pitches. That's what he's going to do, man. You know what was my most annoying part about last night? If you will bear with me 1 second. About the baseball game. I'll tell you one thing last night that has continued to annoy me with this not only this baseball team, but with LSU baseball in general for many, many years. Hang on. If you would be so good as to just patiently bear with me. Stoutenberg threw 79 pitches. Armand Sabori, the starter, threw 48 pitches through 5 innings. Starter threw 48 pitches through 5 innings. He averaged less than 10 pitches per inning. He gave up 1 hit. If you are struggling to hit the baseball, if you're struggling to find base hits, stop swinging at the first pitch. If a pitcher is in a groove, disrupt his momentum. Step out of the batter's box, foul off a pitch, adjust your gloves, call for time. These are all things that baseball players do to try to disrupt a pitcher's momentum when he's going good. And when someone is getting you up and down in order and needs only 48 pitches to get through 5 innings, that is max efficiency. The target for a starting pitcher in pitches per inning, you'd love to be in the 12 to 15 pitch range. You'd love to be right there, the 12 to 15 pitch range per inning. He was at 9. I mean, this is my gigantic complaint with LSU. Like, they got enough arms, they got enough bats. The inability, like, if I were LSU's hitting coach, which I'm not, on a day like that, my first order to every hitter is you will take until you get strike 1. You will stand in the box and take pitches until it's strike 1. And then you will be aggressive. Their inability to make a pitcher work is what is maddening about this baseball team. Going into the 9th inning, combined as a staff, they had thrown 83 pitches. Now, the Stoutenberg ended up throwing a lot in the 9th because LSU put together a rally. They still ended up throwing 127 pitches, is that right? 137 pitches. Because they drove up that pitch. I mean, we got to work counts, man. Shout out to Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Everybody watching, they're tagged in this post. If y'all would like their Facebook page, huge help. Of course, they're open on weekends. So shout out to Brock. If you find yourself in need of an orthopedist, they're the best. Go see them. We send Drew there for pediatrics. He sees Dr. Brad Collada. Dr. Chip Bankston is at Brock. He's a Brock doc. And he, of course, is the Saints orthopedist. So if it's good enough for the Saints, it's good enough for you, right? He's the guy that they hired after the little fiasco happened last year. So they're awesome, man. Mark Brommer, good morning. I think the FBI is using Wade to catch a bigger fish. Mark, I think you're missing the point. The FBI is not after Will Wade. The FBI was getting the other guy on wire. That's on that conversation, Christian Dawkins. The other guy is who's being investigated. Dawkins is on trial for an alleged bribery scandal. He's already been convicted in the Adidas wire fraud scandal. Jonathan Tillman Olive is going to get booed badly if he shows his face tonight. He'll get catcalled. It's different, and it's different in basketball, man, because in football, he can go hang out in his suite. In basketball, they no hiding, bro. You sitting there courtside, everybody going to see you. Stuart, in your opinion, can the NCAA reverse our season or sit us out of the playoffs? Also, how good is the assistant coach? Well, if the NCAA finds that LSU committed violations, then yeah, then it can vacate the season. We're a long way away from that. And how good is Tony Benford? Tony Benford was the head coach at North Texas. He's been a coach for 30 some odd years. He's the only guy on staff that's been a head coach before. Tony Benford replaced Johnny Jones. When Johnny Jones got the LSU job, Tony Benford got the North Texas job. So really good recruiter. Players like him. He works with the bigs. You know, he works with the front court, so he works with the big guys. So, yeah, man. I mean, and the better news is Vanderbilt stinks. So you win this game, you win the SEC, you see what happens up in Nashville. I would just love for LSU to rectify this, ASAP and get Will Wade back on the floor. I'm shocked at the baseball questions today. Brian Rober, first pitch swing. There are way too many first pitch swings. There are. Everett email, Kylie Willis, good morning. John Cunningham, Brian Arsenault, 0 patience at the plate. They true. They should have left him in. I don't know why they pulled him. I was at the wedding at that point. Kyle Gallo, he gone. Matt and Ryan said it yesterday. What would you do if your bosses didn't back you? That is interesting to see what happens potentially with Will if it comes to that. If he's exonerated, if LSU brings him back. Will Wade said in a statement he understood LSU taking the action it did. I don't believe that. Probably something he said to play nice, but also saw I guess it's one of those things you start kind of building the case, and the newspaper up in Richmond printed a story where, of course, Will Wade was at VCU, and they printed a story essentially saying there was never any evidence or suspicion of wrongdoing while he was at VCU. So it's not like you're going to look at this track record of wrongdoing. Trey Early, good morning. Carl the Cat. Chuck Sanchez, what's up? Josh Long, bunt. Heck no, don't bunt. Get out of here. I'm going to ban you, Josh Long, your bunt conversation. Todd, that was crazy pulling the Cal starting pitcher. Jeremy Hayes, you saw that. How about Garza going oppo for the big hit? Loved it. I texted Terrio right when it happened. So if any of y'all missed it on the Riot podcast this week, Terrio, and if you missed it, you should go back and watch it. It's on the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page. It's on our Watch app. You can go listen to it. Terrio went hitter by hitter in the LSU lineup and kind of gave a scouting report on them, like what they do well, how he'd fix whatever needed to be fixed, sort of all that stuff. And his comments about Garza were great. He said, Garza got a great swing. So his problem is, and he talked about how he's trying to pull everything, and he's getting way out in front of the ball, and essentially it's why he can't hit the curveball, and what he needs to do is stay back and be patient and go the opposite way, because if you go the opposite way, it forces you to be patient. You can see the pitch for another 4 feet, and if you can see it longer, you're more likely to put a better swing on it. And so, sure enough, Garza went oppo last night with his single in the ninth. I texted Terry. I was like, hey, man, You think Garza heard you? Let's see. C-Mac, LSU's lineup last night was perplexing against the lefty who throws like that. 6 lefty bats. Scroll through there. C-Mac, sorry, bud. Yeah, that would have been a night to play Garza at DH, but the other part is, man, Garza kept striking out, man. And they wanted to give to Giacomo a chance, so I get it. Rocco's up Scone. Pisses me off most about the pundits. They're all saying this thing is bigger than it is in defense of these administrators. Scroll past, sorry, man. Watching basketball last night, sloppy, but I can boast my high school as a state championship now. Congrats. Justin Reyes, where's Drew? I have a feeling we're going to start getting a lot of those. Drew spent the night at Mimi and Papa's last night. Erica and I were at a wedding, so he spent the night out, and that's also why I'm a little later this morning. So got to sleep in. Drew is my alarm clock every day. He wakes me up sometime between 6 and 6:30, and so didn't have my alarm clock. Actually, I woke up this morning at 6:50 body clock, and then I guess dozed back off. And Erica woke me up. It's like 8:10. She's like, "Are you gonna do your show?" It's like, "Oh God." Anyway, Kyle, LSU's hitting philosophy is to make sure the other team doesn't have sore arms the next day. Oh man. Derek, Maneri needs to hire Terrio as hitting coach, cut him a check. They did look into that last year about him being like a grad assistant or something like that. No, it was 2 years ago. And I think Terrio talked about this, but there's just a lot like he has to be enrolled in school. Or no, because Terrio never got his degree. He was looking at being like an undergrad assistant where he could just kind of go out to the park and work with the guys. But he'd have to like re-enroll in school and stuff like that. And it was a lot of red tape and stuff, and he just bailed. Let's see. Call people to ask questions knowing what the answer will already be. I don't know what that means, sorry. Dodie Sanchez Cotrere, good morning. Brad Acosta, what's up? Jared Vadrine, Will Rate is wrong in so many levels. Admin had no choice. Jared, again, I'll go back to my point, okay? If you believe that, and it's fine if you do, and it's fine if the administration does, then you fire him. You don't suspend him. A suspension without evidence, without physical evidence of wrongdoing, is essentially an admission of guilt, and now you put him in a position where he's guilty and forced to prove his innocence. That's not how it works in this country. You are innocent until proven guilty, and unless you're proven guilty. And if you're an LSU administrator and you determine that what's on that tape justifies termination, then you fire him. The most chicken bleep thing you can do is, we're going to suspend you. What good does that do? All that's done is created a bigger poop storm around this whole thing, because the people that want blood now they've cut you. They feel like they've cut you, and now they're going for the knockout. And so it's only going to ramp up the conversation about it. And the flip side of it is, if you had just released a statement and kept him in place, it keeps everybody at bay because they know you're not budging, and you can impose an artificial deadline to say we are waiting until the federal trial, the federal investigation, and all of the evidence comes forward, and then we'll make a decision once we have all of the evidence. I mean, that's enough. Essentially, the statements that LSU and Will Wade separately released yesterday, if you combine them and remove the suspension, it works perfectly. So the "they had no choice" thing is not a smart comment, Jared. They had plenty of choices, and they made the one that's the worst one to make. It's not a fun thing to do. I'm not saying it's a pleasant decision to make, but it's not a hard decision. It's like, there's black and there's white. There's right and there's wrong. There's yes and there's no. Like, pick one. There's fire him, there's let him coach. But what you've done now is you've essentially sided with all the people that think he's guilty and say, yeah, we think he's guilty. But we're going to keep him in place just in case. No. By the way, if he's guilty, you're forfeiting the season anyway. Go make your run. Go make your run. These players deserve it. They played awesome this year. Go make your run. Anyway. Lee McCaffrey, if I'm Will Wade, things were cleared and LSU wanted me back, I'd request that Oliva and F. King be fired. I don't think the basketball coach at LSU has the pull to get an administrator fired. But the fans could. Chance Oliva is doing a PR stunt to suspend Wade now, then reinstate him next week. 0. It's not a PR stunt. And the decision to suspend him was a decision that was made hastily yesterday after there was a certain plan of action already in place. Kendall Nugent sucks the team that Wade can't celebrate. Be with the team, celebrate with them last night or tonight. True. Vizine might cure that. Let's see. Visine. Who does UCLA go worth for a head basketball coach next year? Not sure. Let's see. When Cal scored their 2 runs, it was with 2 outs, but right before Hess should have gotten that strike 3 call, but the ump squeezed him, and he got pulled for George. Good morning, Matt and Drew. Hey, Don. Ryan Rhodes. Good morning. Billy McLemore, bold move, not having the star of the show with you. It's what it is, man. Thank God we got the Will Wade story to keep this thing rolling. Tyler Piku, good morning. Let's see, DJ Anslum. He's about to be a federal witness. His lawyers doesn't need any ammo to perjure himself. True. I don't see how people watch a whole season of baseball. They usually tune in after the second half of the season. If you love baseball, you watch. And it's fun watching. For me, it's fun watching a team come together. Golly. Joseph Labatt, good morning. Sorry, y'all. Some of these comments are just scrolling so quickly. I'm so far behind. Like, they just scroll past, and there's only a certain number that it allows. So, can Skip come back? Chances this force is smart to go pro? That's a good question, Brad. See how it all plays out. He might go ahead and just enter the transfer, declare for the draft and go through that whole pre-draft process. Michael Adams, talk about a serious issue. When's the next beer tour? You know what, Michael? I'm glad you said that. I keep talking about it, and we need to just plan it. We were talking about March or April. It keeps getting pushed back, but we need to do that. This week, I will plan this week to talk to Lee. Lee Feinswag was gone earlier this week. Lee and Jay Ducote will talk this week, and we'll set a date, and we'll do it. I don't see what's so hard to understand. Fire him or let him coach. There shouldn't be an in-between. Exactly. Justin Reyes, how long will Paul Maneri be able to underachieve with the talent he's had? Does the Les Miles rule come in where, yes, he wins a lot, but still underachieving? Justin, if you think he's underachieving, then I just can't help you. Because they before last year, they had set the record for the longest consecutive streaks of being a national seed. Like, that's not underachieving. It's hard to go to Omaha and win. I mean, you can talk about Florida. Kevin O'Sullivan has had ace arms after ace arms and had never won a national championship until 2 years ago. Was he underachieving? I mean, Skip went to Omaha 5 times before he finally won it. Was he underachieving? And that's in an era where you just had to win a 6-team regional and 1 championship game in Omaha. I mean, I don't like the people that say Paul Maneri is underachieving. It perplexes me because it's a very ignorant comment, man. You may not like him or his style, but it's like you've made up your mind that he's an underachiever, and then every shred of evidence that allows you to put a block on that wall, you keep building that wall and you ignore all the good things. Like, I can sit here and tell you all about the national seed. You go, what good does it be being a national seed if you don't win a national title? Ask Mike Martin, who's been the head coach at Florida State for 50 years and never won a national title. Went to Omaha 20 times and never won it. It's a hard thing to do. I mean, at some point, like when you get into a tournament-style play, all you can do is put your lineup together and hope guys hit the baseball and field it and pitch it, and sometimes it doesn't work out for you. Sometimes it does. And this season, I'll continue to tell you, this team is going to go to Omaha. Jim Copeland, Matt wanting a vacated Final Four run. I didn't say I want a vacated Final Four run, but what I know and what I've said all along is that there are enough instances of things on their face that look terrible that went unpunished by the NCAA. North Carolina just had a years-long investigation into the worst academic fraud scandal in the history of the NCAA, and they went completely unpunished. I mean, Cam Newton's dad admitted to soliciting $180,000 for his son's commitment, and Cam Newton and Auburn went completely unpunished. Johnny Manziel is on video in a Las Vegas hotel room signing gobs of memorabilia, and nobody believes he did it out of the goodness of his own heart. And Johnny Manziel went unpunished. I mean, I think that they gave him a token half-game suspension in the opener against Rice. Like, just for their trouble. I mean, come on. Anyway. So, my point is, I've read the transcript. I know what it says. I know what everybody thinks. And I think you're completely justified in that opinion. But what's done is done. And the burden of proof is on somebody else. So, see if they can prove it. In the meantime, go win basketball games. Enjoy March. Nathan Nall, good morning. If Will Wade departs, program's done for a while. Cop out from the admin, James Roy. Do you think after Wade's statement he understands LSU's position? Maybe no. I think he intentionally and safely crafted that statement. Shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Brock, they're tagged in this post. Please like them. After Hours Clinic, they're there on weekends. So if you're out there playing flag football or weekend warrioring it, play some pickleball at the Y, turn your ankle, someone pops your shoulder, go see our friends at Brock. Question, does LSU Athletics have a public relations person on staff? So, Brian, that was Herb Vincent for many, many years, and Herb is the best. And because he's the best, Greg Sankey hired him at, actually it was Mike Slive who brought him to the SEC office, and he fills that role now for the Southeastern Conference. Herb's the best. And they went for a while without one. They hired Robert Munson, who I have a lot of respect for Robert. And I think Robert has done a lot in the way of trying to reestablish some of that consistency. He does a lot of things behind the scenes that many of you are aware of as fans. You just don't know it's him, pulling the strings. But this is one where I think that's beyond his doing. I think this is a Joe Oliva, King Alexander Board of Supervisors decision. But I wish they had somebody advise them better, because this is a stupid decision. Oliva just punished the entire basketball team and fan base before the facts. He'd rather save face than back his guys. Let's see. I want to donkey punch Dickie V. Go get him, Troy. How do you think that reaction is going to be next time he's in Baton Rouge? Wow. Josh Long, you need a Drew Fathead for days like this. It's not a bad idea. I'm going to see if I can get a picture of Drew somewhere and just put it. Come on again. Matt Lusto Beer Tour in Houston, do it. We may do that one day. I think the next one's going to be North Shore. Nathan Small, is Javante Smart going to play? As of last night, and I did ask that question, it was undecided. And they may sit him today, but that was undecided as of last night. I wish I would have gotten a Drew cardboard cutout saying Elmo Ducks for the basketball game this season. Oh, man. Lenny Moss, what's up? Richie Burt, hey, Matt, loved your take on the Will Wade incident yesterday in AFR. Shared it. Any chance use your ESPN poll to get Dick Vitale on the show? Unlikely. I don't think Dickie V does many interviews. And they do have... So ESPN has PR people that are media relations people for each sport. So they'll have someone who handles requests for like college sports, for the NFL, like for College Game Day. And I've gotten to know Derek Volner is a guy. If you ever look at ESPN press releases, you'll see Derek's name on a lot of them. I've gotten to know Derek pretty well just through SEC Media Days, and then you're just known him throughout the years. And then when LSU played up in Green Bay and College Game Day was there, he got George Whitfield, who at the time was on Game Day, and maybe Desmond came over and did the show from Lambeau with us. And you know, we hung out, got him into the LSU, the pregame big LSU soiree inside of Lambeau. So anyway, we're friends. So anyway, like when I have requests like that, I kind of have a direct line to the guy who does all that stuff. But some talent are just off limits. Like they just don't do those interviews. And Dick's one of them. He's not going to do interviews, which is a bummer. But Chase Shabo, good morning. Jim Copeland, college basketball big in the SEC at most schools, but meaningless in the big scheme of things. Seems like an excuse to drink a beer and eat to me. Who cares who wins? Jim, there's a small percentage of the LSU fan base who feels like you. But I'd put it to you this way: if you love LSU, ignoring basketball is just foolish because it's the aside from football, college men's basketball is the only other thing that's a revenue generator. Now LSU is an outlier because it does turn a small profit on baseball, but not enough to be super significant in the grand scheme. But that's why you should care, even if you don't love basketball, it's fine. You should care because it's such a big revenue generator, and you want to be going on tournament runs because you get shares of the NCAA tournament pie. You'd rather have a full building of 13,000 people for your 20 home games, selling concessions and parking, and generating revenue for your athletic department. And that's how you're paying all these football analysts and recruiting budgets and all that sort of stuff. Zion Williamson got mentioned on the phone tab about offer going to Duke. Mike is still coaching. It was actually an offer from Kansas. But I guess we're just to believe that he had an offer to go to Kansas, didn't take it, and just decided to go to Duke because he wanted the schooling for 10 months. Cheryl, good morning. Cheryl, bad news. Drew's not here this morning. He's with Mimi and Papa. If y'all would, by the way, hit the share button if you've not done so yet. Tremendous help. I tell you every day, it's the way we grow this organically. So please hit the share button. That's a tremendous help if you could do it. Scam Newton, Calipari, so many slime balls that barely got a slap on the wrist. Free Will Wade. It's true, Brandon. I agree with that sentiment as well. They pick and choose. And that's another good one from Jim Copeland. Talked about Donnie Tyndall is not in the club. Donnie Tyndall got a 10-year show cause. I mean, North Carolina just got away scot-free with their fraud scandal, and Donnie Tyndall got a 10-year show cause. 10 years. They ended his career. 10 years. Daryl Juno, good morning. Jonathan Foru, good morning. Eugene Coach, what's up, Eugene? Good morning. Jude Miller, good morning. Kendall, for all the fire, the Maneri haters, can you find a better coach? He's one of the best. He's definitely one of the best. Craig, you don't win that many games without being a good coach. Come on, man. Craig Polk, good morning. Will Wade is a perfect fit for us young? Is it molded into the norm as fiery passion for the game? It's all true. I enjoyed the ride. Speaking of it in the past tense already. Jeffrey Easley, good morning. Let's see, Garrett McIntyre. People who comment that Wade has to talk to LSU, the situation is bigger than LSU. It's a criminal trial at this point. He needs to keep his mouth shut other than his lawyer. I'd agree with that. I wish LSU would too. How long before we can get a real hitting coach? Johnny Englert, good morning. The hitting coach thing is interesting because you remember obviously they had Andy, who was fantastic, and then Andy late in the process when John Cohen left Mississippi State. Andy left. That was just a few weeks before the season started. 3-4 years ago, whatever that was. And so they were in a bind, and so that's when they hired Micah, because he was around, and it was like it was an easy fix in a pinch. And they got better. And then Micah could have continued growing in that role. Then Micah tore his ACL last year, if you remember, playing basketball, and he just couldn't be on the field. So they're like, all right, we're in a pinch again. And so Sean was there, so they elevated Sean. And then you're like, okay, well, Micah's healthy now. Sean did it last year. What do we do? So they just kept Sean in that role. But Maneri did it with Alan Dunn. I mean, he went and found a no doubt dude of a pitching coach who had decades in minor league baseball and major league baseball. I'm surprised that he hasn't gone and done the same with his hitting coach. I am. Odds Wade stays if they can't prove anything. That's a question you'd have to ask. I guess you're assuming, like, would LSU fire him, or would he stay or go seek another job? I don't know what the market would be for a guy that's coming off investigation like that, but tell you, man, he's. I could also understand if he looked for an escape hatch, but the flip side of it is, like, it's hard to work somewhere where you don't have support of your bosses. It just is, and he doesn't have LSU support. That's discouraging. Tyler Robbins, what's the story behind LSU hiring Oliva in light of his time at Duke? I know Oliva gets pegged a lot with the Duke stuff because he was the AD, but those decisions went above him. If you actually go back and read, remember you had the DA with Naifong who was disbarred after that, and you had the university president involved. It was more than just the AD in that situation. I'm not defending it. I mean, they were all just grossly out of their league in that instance. But anyway, there's one more. Oh, Lauren Anderson, what's your take on Sankey's statement? Awful. Supporting LSU and suspending Will Wade. I mean, it's awful. I don't feel like getting off on Sankey today. It's oddly quiet today without Drew. I'm not surprised that Sankey released the statement he did. But what you do now is you set that precedent. So if you're an LSU fan, so consider this. Next time an SEC school, for whatever reason, is in trouble, in the crosshairs, LSU and a school allows their guy to continue coaching, LSU fans can pull out that comment from Greg Sankey and say, hey, Greg, what's the deal? Why aren't you coming out telling them they should suspend this coach, right? You got to be careful with the precedent you set, man. The internet doesn't forget. Micah Richards, Chad Bro, good morning. Charlie Cavell. Oh, Charlie, you texted me yesterday while I was on the air. I saw it. I didn't respond. Yesterday was a day, bro. And then I got off air and went to this wedding, so I didn't respond to you. But I will. I will when we're done here. I'm glad I saw you pop up there. Yeah, if y'all got my number and you text me when I'm on the air, you're not likely to get a reply. Mike Sylvester, free William Engelman, Free Will Wade signs at the PMAC, probably. F. Dickie V. Telemarketers. You got me? All right, sorry. Sorry about that, y'all. Damn telemarketers. Let's see. Kerry Tomplay, good morning. Shelby. Mike Carter, Jason Aguilar, Zachary Courtney. Good morning, everybody. Let's see, Colby Reynolds. How about the fathead of Dickie V that looks like Roger Goodell clown version? I love it, man. A lot of people were circulating that with Joe Oliva on it yesterday, the Joe Oliva clown. Anyway. Y'all got anything else? Let's see. Bob Marlin is behind. It's comment of the day, Merle Moak. Bob Marlin is behind us. Bob Marlin's the ULL coach that Will Wade went off on last year about we play in an arena, not a gym, and went off on that after Marlin was saying they should have hosted the NIT game. It's funny. Harold Lloyd. Good morning, Matt. You do a great job. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very, very much. If y'all would hit the share button, and if you would like the Brock page, which is tagged in this post, that's a huge help. Brock's got 5 locations. Remember the Livingston location as well. If you go I-12, you exit Walker, go to the right, half mile on the right. You can't miss it. So if you're out there in Livingston, you can see some Brock docs out there as well. Let's see, John Michael Saunier, Mark Gottfried is still going to coach. All right. Megan Hurst, if Javonte sits today, he's basically done for the season, right? This thing isn't going to get resolved before April. I would think so. I mean, and the point is that up to this point, Wade has coached, Javonte has played. Like, sitting him now does you no good. Last year, when Chuck Person, the Auburn assistant, got arrested with the bribery scandal, the players in question were Dangel Purifoy and Austin Wiley. Auburn sat both guys all year. They didn't play all year because had they played and ultimately been convicted, you know what I mean, found to have taken benefits, they could have forfeited the season. So Auburn made the decision not to play them, which was the right move in that instance. That's fairly common. Kansas is doing it this year. They had a guy that was on the federal wiretap, that the players on the wiretap that they've sat out all year because they don't know what ultimately the NCAA is going to rule. They don't want to have to come back and vacate their season. Javonte Smart played the whole season. You're vacating the season anyway. If Javonte Smart plays, you're vacating because of Will Wade. You're vacating the season anyway. Like, if it comes to that, so like, why pull him off the floor now? In the absence of evidence. Trivia card. Speaking of Kansas, anyone else looking forward to Les Miles' first season? I am. I'm intrigued. If he can get them to a bowl game, that would be a massive win for him. Mark Miller, good morning. Mike Touche, David Weatherford, Craig Duga, William Kimbrough, Bruce Fuselier, Matthew Hyde, Bruce Parker. Good morning, everybody. Shelby, Ochinko is a good coach. He just needs to make an adjustment on his approach for the guys. Hard to say that, Shelby, because we really don't know if Ochinko is a good coach or his adjustment for the guys because we're not there. And I don't think there's enough body of work to say that he's a good coach. I like Sean. I mean, it's not personal. I'm not saying he can't be, but you don't typically write out your first gig as the hitting coach at LSU. Like, that's significant. And there's nothing to prove that he's a good coach. Like, there's no body of evidence, you know what I mean? Track record to prove that he's a good coach. So, hopeful. Craig, I said that yesterday on air. He said, can't wait for LSU to win the SEC tournament. Sankey's going to have to congratulate us. I would love for them to reinstate Will Wade and Greg Sankey. Have to hand him that trophy. Yeah, dog. Jeff Guillory, good morning. Robert Conger, can we finally start agreeing LSU? It's time for a new AD. There's a lot of LSU fans that felt that for a long time. Brian Robert, doesn't take a genius hitting coach to tell hitters to stop hacking at the first pitch. Listen, if you are if you scouted a guy properly and you feel like he's going to start you off first pitch he's going to groove a first pitch fastball to get ahead in the count, and for like first pitch of the game, if you're a leadoff guy and you're Josh Smith, I'll give you an example. Josh Smith swung at the first pitch last night. If you've scouted that pitcher to know he's going to start you off, he's a lefty, you're a righty, and he's going to groove you a fastball. He's a jump ball pitcher, off speed primarily, but he's going to groove you a fastball in the first pitch. It may be the only fastball of the at bat you see. And if you want to give your team an early lead in that instance, I'm okay with you taking a hack if you get a belt high meatball and you want to yank it over the fence. I'm okay with taking that hack. Josh Smith did it last night, and he popped out. So that ain't great, but the result wasn't great. But in some instances, I'm okay with swinging at a first pitch. But for the most part, when you get a sample going into 5 innings and the guy's only throwing 48 pitches, it's time to lay off of a few. It's time to make him uncomfortable, to drive up that pitch count, for sure. Matt, what's the intel on free Will Wade billboards around BR? I don't know. Someone will probably do it. Curry Foreman, what's your stance on Coach O's comments on wearing number 7 with Giles? Think he was truthful to the media. Curry, I think sometimes Ed Ogeron is supremely awkward and is not good in front of a microphone. That's one of those instances. At times I appreciate his candor, but that's one of those ones where you got to know when to shut up, because it's not funny to say, "Oh, I made a better decision I did last year," because you basically just dropped trowel and dropped a deuce on Jonathan Giles' head. That ain't cool. I mean, come on. But he's right. I mean, Delpit's a better choice. But that said, I don't care what number anybody wears. I don't care who wears 7, who wears 18. But my go-to is, I don't care if you put the poop emoji on the front of somebody's jersey. It's irrelevant to me what number you wear. I don't care. Anthony Geddes, Aliva isn't going anywhere. Unfortunately, he's great at fundraising and knows how to make money. Anthony, that's not true, actually. One of the big knocks against Joe is that he's not a good fundraiser. That's the reality. Joe's not a good fundraiser. Skip was a good fundraiser. Joe Aliva's not. That's one of the big knocks internally against him. Donations were actually down to the athletic department this past year. I don't know where you heard that. Joe's not a good fundraiser. And he has enough people that don't like him to where it's difficult at times to raise funds. And to say he's not going anywhere, he's about to be a lame duck AD. His contract is up at the end of 19 or beginning of 20. And he's been pushing for a renewal, and the old board of supervisors, before the turnover this summer, they were trying to remove him, not renew him. So now you have this new board, and everyone's kind of waiting to see, after some new members termed off, old members termed off, new members termed on, to see how they feel about Joe and if they're going to renew him. But so far, they've had a couple of opportunities. They've not renewed his contract. So that ain't exactly true, man. I don't know who you're talking to, but that ain't true. He's not a good fundraiser, and there's not this unanimous feeling that he's going to be around. Joe would like a new contract because he'd like to finish his career here. I don't think he wants to keep working, but I don't think he doesn't want to move. He's been here 10 years. He wants to finish his career here. He may not get that opportunity. I mean, we'll see. Charlie Cavell. Let's see, Bruce Fuselier. Could this cost Aliva his job? Yeah. It's cost a lot of people jobs. Gary Wall. Janet, will Aliva be at the PMAC? Probably. Be curious to see the cat calls. I'd sit far away from the student section if I were him. Is it possible the university and Will came to an agreement on the suspension to keep Will from any more press? No. Sorry about texting you on air. I'm working a hoops term. No, it's all good, Charlie. It's a good thing about texts. You can either read them or you can't. John Corbello? John Corbello? Kicker John Corbello? John Corbello? Corbello for Heisman? John Corbello? Get out of here. No. Is that you, John Corbello? Like Corbello for Heisman, John Corbello? No. I gotta go all the way. I hope he's still watching. I'm gonna go all the way to the end of the comments, see if that's him. Is that... It's John Corbello. John, all right, we were at LSU together. There's no way you'll know this. This is so funny, man. Dude, I bought a Corbello jersey, like game-worn Corbello jersey. You know how in the Tiger Bait shop, like by the stadium after the season, they'd sell all the jerseys? I bought a Corbello jersey. I think I found you, maybe it might have been on Facebook. And I was like, hey man, I bought your jersey. Can you autograph it? You met me, like we were going into class one day. We met in the parking lot, like West Stadium parking lot. You signed my Corbello jersey. I do. Now Kyle's like, Matt, you don't have a Corbello jersey. I do have a Corbello jersey, but I think it's at my parents' house. Now I got to go get that thing. Now that I know Corbello's watching. I wish it was here because I'd go get it right now. That's funny, man. John Corbello. What I want is a Corbello for... John, please get me a Corbello for Heisman shirt. You have to have an extra one laying around somewhere. I want a Corbello for Heisman shirt. All right, what time is it? 9:13. We're going to pick up Drew at 10 o'clock. Let's see. David Hughes, proud of the LSU student athletes. Speaking of Kansas, any update on Puka? No idea. We need more berry picking with Terrio and boat rides. It's been a while since we've done that, but maybe we'll do that again. For those that don't know, that's on the YouTube the Matt Scone YouTube channel. Terrio and I did some stupid stuff around traction, like where we got in a golf cart and went pick berries. Anyway. You ought to believe LSU administration is a blank show. My significant otter. Oh, man. Charlie Long. Let's see. I'm going to go quick, y'all, so we can wrap this up. We got to go eat breakfast and pick up Drew. Ochinko wasn't even that great. Y'all are crazy, man. Jenny Stevens, good morning. Lance Hill, this whole incident with Wade is like a lost episode of Sopranos. All right, any more? Let's see. Jim Copeland. College basketball's a small country club. North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, Arizona. That's about it. Michigan State. Kansas. UCLA. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Andrea. Good morning. Any more? Peloso making freshman mistakes. He's a freshman. Shaq for 18. Oh, man. Send Garza to traction of the off days for some one-on-one sessions with Terry. Hey, Brian. Let's see. Man. Do you know Chandler Rome? He's probably going like all the other media guys. It's from Ryan Dixon. Yeah, I know Chandler. Chandler went to Catholic High. He's worked for the Reveille. Was in Lake Charles for a while. Interned at the Advocate. He's went to the Anniston Press in Alabama, covered Alabama, and then got the job as the Astros beat writer for the Houston Chronicle. Chandler does a good job, man. He works really hard. He is, and I like Chandler personally. Like I would consider Chandler a friend. Surprisingly cynical for such a young guy, but yeah. John Corbello. I have a great story about that. I was suspended for the week leading up to the Alabama game. More SEC and NCAA BS. Oh, I got to hear that, man. John, I got to hear that story. Hey, John, do me a favor. Would you message me, like private message me here, and I'll give you my contact. I want to get you on AFR. I want to get you on the show, especially spring football stuff closer to the season. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Matt, would you help Coach O find him a hair color spot? Y'all better stop. Y'all better stop. John, you can give me a Corbello for Heisman shirt. Yeah. XL, baby. Let's see. Justin Brownfield. Why does Leave always look like he's sucking sour boiled eggs? Y'all are crazy. All right, we're about done with this, man. We're done. We've been here an hour. Is it possible for Wade to come back for the tournament? Sure. What would have to happen? LSU would just have to reinstate him. Which I don't know if they will. Can Wade attend the game tonight? I guess if he bought a ticket. Hey, Mumble Boy, what up? Mumble Boy, what does that mean? Stephen Conroy, jerk. Russ Bourgeois, what's up? Drink some more coffee and speak a Laura Ray, good morning. Joey DeStefano, good morning. We are almost done, y'all. Let's see. Laura, I got two more. Transform 20, two more. I'm on week 6, 2 more. If y'all are interested in Transform 20 or the Beachbody system, y'all go Laura Ray, who just jumped on there. Go message her. She'll help you. Let's see. Any more? Nathan Galino. God dog it. Come on. Let's see. All right. I think we're done. All of the bars around campus will be busy today before the games, fueling up for the basketball stream. Not only that, you got 2 baseball games today. Then you got the basketball game. It's going to be a fun day. I will not be out and about. I'll be sitting on my couch after I do Transform 20, but I'll be sitting on my couch watching 2 baseball games and a basketball game today. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all. Please like the Brock page. They're tagged in this post. Awesome people. 5 locations, all the subspecialties you can imagine. They have after hours. They're open on weekends. So please check out the Bluebonnet Clinic. If you're on Bluebonnet, you cross Perkins. It's on the right. It's in the Surgical Specialty Center. You enter on the first floor. You're staring straight at Brock. So they can help you out, man. They got MRI, X-ray, all the stuff there in-house. They can fit you for your walking. I got fitted for a walking boot there when I hurt my Achilles. So right there, that little ortho place, like the little shop right there when you walk in on the right. So they do it all. So, okay, y'all have an awesome day. Go Tigers. Free Will Wade. # boot up. All that stuff. And hope the baseball team wins a couple games today. Later, y'all. See you tomorrow. And Drew will be back tomorrow. Please hit the share button.